Oh, blimey, Governor. Is it hot in here or is it me? It must be the spice.
He's definitely right. It's the spice. So Simon is he's gonna push some buttons. That is sure to be the 2025 Christmas #1 hit. And I say hit without the S on the front.
If we just take oscillator 2 down.
Yeah, just go through some sweeps and things.
The idea with this machine is you can press the trigger button here, and then you get your first oscillator, and then you get your sub-oscillators, and you can tune them.
What's the very high pitch one? Is that your tuner? Or
That's oscillator 1, which I think you can,
right,
which is here. And what I like the idea about that is it's like a step tuning.
Yeah.
And also that is the quantized bit here. That is different tuning. So if you put it in 12, that's like a chromatic scale. So
right,
it's quite handy for keeping things in tune.
Apologies to any cat or dog owners out there for that first part, because I'm sure it'd have sent them all crazy. That was up there. Probably goes higher than that as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, and obviously you can set up the same on oscillator 2, and the idea is to have them in harmonies. That's what I've done before.
Yeah, obviously to they drone or whatever.
Yeah, so you can set up like your main oscillator, your 2 subs, main oscillator 2 subs, put it through your sequencer, and there you go.
Oh, you may want a major and a minor together. You just don't know. In this day's music, anything goes.
And the most interesting thing was this, when I was doing the demo, it is the harmonies that combine that produce the interesting results. And when you put the sequencer on, polyrhythmic sequencer, I heard these drones that you just wouldn't hear without it on.
And look, we've got our special effects today.
It's probably that time now, isn't it?
It's that time.
It's that time. Chummy Stats.
It's that time.
It is that time. So what we got here? The Spice is basically an analogue, semi-modular, polyrhythmic, it's difficult to say, sequencer with, as we said before, you've got 2 oscillators and you've got 2 sub-oscillators on each channel as well. It's got the multi-mode filter, which we just showed you, and it's obviously you've got 2 envelopes, one for the VCA, one for the filter, and you've got your patch panel on the top here. You've got your MIDI on 5-pin DIN. You've also got MIDI on your USB, which we'll come to in a minute. And as Jay said, you've got the trigger. This is brilliant. So that's a real handy. So when you're tuning, and obviously that's your sequence.
If you keep pushing it, does it go through the steps? Oh no, I misunderstood. Oh,
here's the secret of the steps. Press the next button, and that will go.
Okay.
Again, that's a nice feature where you can go through the steps, so you can tune them all up, because you can hear a couple of those where they're not in tune. Again, with the sequencer, you can have +1 means that's I think the subs are up 1 octave, down 1 octave, and you can have +2, which is 2 octaves up and down, 5 octaves up and down, and then this is the sequencer tuning for your notes.
Right.
This one here, so you can set up all your notes, tune them all together. And this is the polyrhythmic part. So you can imagine you got 1 to 16 divided.
Right.
So that's your timing.
Oh yeah, right.
If we turn, let's have a look.
You can spend a month on this.
If we turn that down, maybe just let's see what we got. get some really messed up
And
rhythms going.
that sequence is totally separate to these 8, yeah?
Yeah. So
Totally individual and separate to that.
yeah. So this sequencer here, number 1.
So you could have that in 4/4 time and the other one in 7/4 time.
Yeah, you just keep
How bizarre.
turning these divisions until you get those polyrhythms happening.
That's bizarre.
So these are your 4 notes for oscillator 1 and the subs, and these are the 4 notes for oscillator 2 and the subs.
It's out there, man. This thing is out to lunch.
And then this sort of division timing thing, this is what this is down the bottom here. So you could say, I want sequencer 1 just going on that time division. But if you wanted sequencer 1 using all 3 different timings, or 4, you just punch it in like that.
Crazy.
And the same with sequencer 2. So you can...
How long did it take you to figure that out?
Not too long. Anyway, if you look at one of the Behringer videos, there's Patrick the Patch Dog. He goes into this in more detail, which I watched his video as well, because it is very good.
Is he in the patch bays by any chance?
I think he might be. He is the synthesizer Let's Get Synth in man.
Yep.
Just one more thing.
One more thing.
Good old Columbo.
So a couple of tips. Obviously, when you're doing both your oscillators and your subs, and obviously as we did before, you can step through, just tune them up so they sound good. Which we demonstrated. We haven't tuned them up completely right earlier.
I think we covered that quite a bit about tuning, yeah.
Yeah, and the other thing is, we've got it on internal sync, so when we press the button, when you're recording it with the DAW, obviously you've got your tempo here, but there's no readout on it. You haven't got a clue what tempo you're doing.
Right.
So what you have to do is you get the Synth Tribe app, connect this up via USB to your Synth Tribe app. We'll do a video for you, and you can turn off the internal sync
And use your DAW.
and sync it to MIDI timecode. So then, say if you're doing a track at 120, this sequencer will go through at 120.
But 125 is the true BPM.
It is.
I thrive at 125.
So if you do all your sounds and record them to your DAW and use the sequencer, it's always going to be at the right speed. So yeah, that's the Spice in a nutshell, really. It's only a brief explanation. I think the most important thing about the Spice is if you want inspiration, this is the machine for it. Because when you mess around with those different tunings, then set up the polyrhythmic sequencer,
You ain't got a clue what you're going to get, and then you'll
Yeah.
hear something and think, wow, that I can work with this.
and that's what happened when we did the demo.
Yeah.
When you put the sequencer on, the polyrhythmic, all these different drones came out, and I thought, oh, this is brilliant. And that's the secret of the Spice. Well, the further thing is, which is hopefully obvious to everyone, once you've got your setting, take a picture.
Yeah.
Because if you're doing a song and you want to go back to your original sound, if you've got a picture on your phone, you can put all your knobs back to where they were, because obviously it doesn't store any
It ain't got
presets.
recall, no total recall.
So top tip, take a photo of the sound, then you can go back to it if you
But
want
then
to.
that's what makes synth music so unique, is it's never the same twice. Sometimes if you want it to be, you might be in trouble, because you won't find them same settings again. And with some machines, taking a photograph won't work, because you got those digital knobs that where you leave them ain't necessarily where they are when you go back to them again.
Oh, if they got encoders, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are all normal pots, so you'll be all right with
So
this
they're
one.
analogue, is that
Yeah,
right?
it is analogue, yeah.
We haven't shown you much on that, but hopefully that's going to get some of you started, and probably shown you something about the dual step sequences that you might not have known about. I'm sure you did, but if you didn't, now you do, because Chumley explained it so well that even I understood it. Well, there you go, guys. Here we are, the Behringer brothers. I'll take the fear out of the gear, actually touching the Spice. There it is. It's right there. Sorry, I touched the microphone as well. I have been Jason Bangers, believe it or not.
And I've been Mr. Chumley Warner.
Look after yourselves and come and check we and save our Behringers.